Thanks for choosing us. Tonight, the former MASLOC Chief Executive Officer, Sedina Tamaklo, is set to appear before a U.S. court on January 21 following her arrest and detention by the U.S. Marshals Service in Nevada. Sedina Tamaklo was convicted by an Accra High Court on 78 counts of corruption-related offenses, including causing financial loss to the state, stealing, and procurement breaches. She jumped bail and left Ghana before her sentencing, prompting the government to initiate extradition proceedings from the United States. We'll hear from the Ghana's ambassador to the United States shortly, Victor Smith. But first, here's a statement put out by his outfit earlier confirming Sedina Tamaklo's detention. That statement shortly, but we can now hear from Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Smith, who clarified on the Pulse on the JoyNews channel that the arrest is not related to immigration issues, which would normally involve ICE, but was carried out under the authority of the U.S. Department of Justice.
I have gotten it from official sources where this lady is being kept and that she's going to go to court on the 21st. Let me say that U.S. Marshals are authorized by the Department of Justice in the U.S. system to effect arrest. The Marshals were authorized by the Department of Justice. Now, that one has nothing to do with, if you like, immigration as, ICE would do. ICE moving as the immigration, unit. Okay? So the U.S. Marshals different from the ICE people. Both are security agencies.
And is she being held strictly for extradition purposes, or are there other legal issues affecting her detention?
That is extradition purposes. There was mention of an extradition request as far back as July of 2024. That is the information I have. So that is the legal request that was acted upon by the U.S. Marshals.
Well, we can now bring you that statement which the U.S. Embassy, Ghana Embassy in the U.S. put out earlier. And it states that I can now confirm today that Mrs. Sedina Tamakloe-Attionu is being detained at the Nevada Southern Detention Center. Now, they go on to put the location of that center, 2190 East Avenue at Nevada. They go on to state that my information is that she was detained by U.S. Marshals on January 6th and has since been kept at that detention center. He goes on to state he is reliably informed that acting on an extradition request sent to the U.S. authorities sometime in July 2024, U.S. Marshals arrested Mrs. Tamaklo-Attionu and placed her in detention to await her day in court, which, by the way, he just told us that that day in court is on January 21. Well, the ambassador also noted that while he has not personally seen Sedina Tamaklo's extradition documents, they are believed to follow the same legal framework as those submitted by the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta.
Let me say that I did not cite Sedina Tamakloe's extradition documents. I have not cited this. But I cited Ken's one, which came through my office during my tenure. So it is possible, same documentation from the Attorney General's department, compile the whole documentation before it is sent through our mission to the Department of Justice to make that request. I didn't cite Sedina's, but I presume it's the same type of documentation. I cited Ken's one, all right, and then submitted it to the Department of Justice.
Away from that, the Electoral Commission has opened nominations for the Ayawaso East constituency parliamentary by-election. This is a result of the death of the sitting member of Parliament, Alhaji Muhammad Nazar Toure, who passed on after a short illness at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital 2 weeks ago. The Electoral Commission has, in accordance with Article 1125 of the Constitution, announced dates for nominations and filing dates, with the filing fees applicable. On your screens now are excerpts of that statement put out just a few minutes ago from the Electoral Commission. It goes on to state the reasons for the by-election. They say the parliamentary seat has become vacant following the death of the Member of Parliament for the area, Muhammad Nazar Toure. They go on to state that the nomination timelines, especially for the Ayawaso East EC Municipal Office at Northridge, is on Monday 9th, Wednesday 11 February to Wednesday 11 February 2026, and they say the time there from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Now, the tabling who are actually eligible to file, they say that prospective candidates or seconder on behalf of the candidate. The filing fees are stated by the EC is on your screens now, 10,000 for general candidates, but for females and persons with disabilities, it is 7,500 Ghana cedis. Well, join me via Zoom now is Deputy Director of Communications for the NPP, Kamal Dean Abdullahi, for some quick reactions on this. I also have Mustafa Gbande, Deputy General Secretary for the NDC. Gentlemen, we appreciate your time. I'd like to start with Kamal Abdul. We appreciate your time here. Let's start with your initial reaction to this. We're just hearing from the EC. We know that now the ground is set. What should we expect from you in the next few days? Well, Kamal, whilst we wait for you to just unmute yourself, let me bring in Tanko Computer from the NDC. Tanko Computer is Deputy Director for Election and IT for the NDC. We appreciate your time. We know that the ground is set now. What are your expectations?
Very well. Let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners and my brother Kamal Dean from the MPP. The NDC, we are very ready. I mean, we are ready for it. The seat is our seat. Fortunately, we lost our hard-working MP, Honorable Toure Nazar Alaji. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I mean, the party functional executive committee decided that as soon as the electoral commission opens up the process to replace the demise of our MP, we would quickly activate our internal processes of getting a worthy replacement for our fallen hero. And that is what we are going to do. So now today that we have the date fixed by the Electoral Commission, by tomorrow thereabout, our directorate, which is the election directorate of the NDC, will kickstart our internal processes of getting a replacement that will contest and win the election. Of course, we are going to win the election. I mean, the 3rd March date slated by the Electoral Commission is a foregone conclusion. For the NDC, we are going to win. Our brothers should not waste their time, the opposition MPP. They shouldn't waste their time coming there, because if they try and make the mistake of contesting that election, they are going to lose massively. We are going to hand them a very heavy defeat in that constituency. The good people of Ayawaso East, Nima, they are very lovely people, nice people over there. I love them. I like them a lot. They are people who are down to earth, and they know what the NDC has done for them in that constituency. And I can assure you, they will deliver a good verdict for the NDC.
And let me move to Kamal Dean. I'm hoping his connection is better now. Will you be contesting this seat as the MPP?
Well, good evening to you, and good evening to your cherished viewers and listeners as well. Yes, indeed. What our law says, should there be a vacancy in this nature, obviously, the Electoral Commission would have to election, as it were, fill the vacancy, which is exactly what they are going to do by issuing this letter, as it were. Yes, we all know that Nima or Ayawaso East, as it were, is more or less a haven for the NDC. Nonetheless, we have contested elections and of course, keenly contested with them in that constituency for some time now. I want to say that, yes, we have 1 month per the issuance of this notice to determine whether or not the party is going to fill the candidate. And I can tell you that discussions will be ongoing. We are going to assess the situation as a party and, of course, come to a conclusion as to how we are going to fill the candidate for this by-election as well. But it is yet a decision to be taken by the National Executive Committee of the party, though.
Thank you so much, Kamaldeen Abdullahi. He's with the NPP. And we also spoke earlier to Rashid Tanko Computer. Away from that, any expectations that the state will intervene to fix the worsening commercial transport crisis through the Metro Mass Transit is not expected in the immediate, as the company reveals that 300 out of the 478 buses in its fleets have been grounded. It has been weeks of grueling ordeal for many commercial transport users who have been battling an acute shortage of commercial vehicles, leading to long winding queues at bus stops and terminals in Accra and in other major cities. Fatal Bayaga has more in the following report.
The government is currently working feverishly to address the transport challenges here in the capital. Over the period, a lot of people are facing transportation challenges. For the Transport Minister, Joseph Bukari Nikwe, one of the critical challenges affecting public transportation in the country is the fact that many of the buses belonging to these public transport companies have not been retooled over the years.
Over the years, either the GPRTU, the Ministry of Transport and their agencies like Intercity, STC, Metro Mass Transit Limited, and by extension, Ayalolo under the Ministry of Local Government has not seen any retooling of their vehicles. This has brought pressure on the few vehicles that they are operating.
For managers of Metro Mass and the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executive, popularly known as Ayalolo, many of their buses are grounded at the moment, and this is making it difficult for them to help in tackling the situation.
In total, we have our 478 fleets of the company, but unfortunately, this company, which used to boast of over 1,000 buses in some time past, today can only boast of about 130 buses that we can route daily. And so our predicament is so glaring.
Challenges, as usual. We do not get any subvention, neither do we get any money anywhere. It is the little money that we take from passengers. It is out of these monies that we use to pay our staff, to buy fuel, to maintain all these vehicles without getting any money anywhere.
For the drivers themselves who were part of this crucial meeting, they say that there's a need for budgetary allocation for the private sector in order to help in tackling this growing challenge.
What we are currently having, the issues we are having and contending from 2023 and 2024 seems to be repeating itself. Whenever there's a budgetary allocation and then they go to share, they allocate how much they'll give to Metro Mass, how much they give to STC, and forget us.
Speaking during the stakeholder engagement, the Vice President, Professor J. Nana Opoku Ajiman, says that the government has planned to procure some high occupancy buses for the public transport companies as well as the private sector in order to substantially address this particular situation.
His Excellency the President has asked me to assure all of you that he will give support to Metro Mass, Ayalolo, and the private sector. And the private sector with new high occupancy buses in order to augment the services in the medium term.
The government believes that these measures would help to drastically address the transportation challenges in Accra and other parts of the country. For Joy News, Fatal Bayaga, Accra.
Well, let's engage the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Emmanuel Ohini-Yeboah. We appreciate your time here on JoyNews Prime. We're seeing fuel prices drop. We're also seeing better climates when it comes to the economy. Why exactly are you adamant to reduce transport fares?
Well. Thank you very much, my sister. I don't think we are too adamant to not reduce. Let me say we are not that insensitive, but the problem is that we have other related issues that will not help us do that immediately. But it's still under consideration. Once we agree on, we'll let you.
Well, spare part dealers are emphatic. They say that they have reduced the price of spare parts. And that is one of the reasons you have given for your reluctancy to reduce the prices of transport fares. So how do you respond to that?
Well, you see, we have a structural issue in relation to the transport fare implementation, be it increase or reduction. We are trying to, get a system in place where we can enforce whatever reduction we take. Because if we do the reduction and we are unable to police and make sure we are able to implement it, the people who are supposed to benefit don't get it.
Mr. Emmanuel, you have to position rightly. I seem to be losing you intermittently. Please make that point again, briefly.
What I'm saying is that we have a plan to work towards, see if it's possible we can reduce it. But it's not something that we have done because they will have a program to be able to implement whatever reduction we announce. And that's why we are a bit reluctant in doing that. Because if we are not careful, we'll do the reduction and the people who are supposed to benefit will not get to them.
Let me bring in Godfred Abubire. He is General Secretary of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. We appreciate your time here on JoyNews Prime. You held a meeting today with the Transport Minister. What was the outcome of that meeting? Mr. Godfred, can you hear me? Unfortunately, we don't have clear connection to Mr. Godfred. So you were also, Mr. Emmanuel Ohini-Yeboah, you were also in that meeting today, were you not? What were the concerns you tabled before the Transport Minister, and what assurances did he give?
Well, our concern relation particularly was on the issue of vehicle shortage in the city for operational purposes. But we told the minister that it's not intentional, except that we have an old vehicle regime where a lot of our vehicles are at the workshop and makes turnaround time also a bit difficult. Our city center has also been taken over by traders, the various bar stores. So when you get to the city center, turnaround time increases. So a route of about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, it takes you about 2 hours. So it's difficult for us to make that quick turnaround. And that is why we have that backlog of passengers.
Okay.
It's not as if we are doing that intentionally.
Okay. Godfred, can you hear me now clearly?
Can you hear me now?
Mr. Godfred, I'm hoping you can hear me now clearly. Godfred Abubire, he is with the GPRTU. What was the outcome of today's meeting? What assurances did you get from the Transport Minister? Okay, connection to Mr. Godfred is not favorable. Let's move away from that story now. Consumers of petroleum products are paying less at the pumps following a price reduction in the second pricing window of January. This marks a second consecutive decline according to projections from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC. My colleague Gemma Apia visited an LPG station and spoke to some consumers in the following report.
This morning, COMAG announced the reduction in the prices of LPG. I am currently at the Alajo gas filling station, where we understand that prices of gas or LPG has reduced. And here we can see that a number of people have come already to buy gas. And I will be speaking shortly to the supervisor of this particular facility. And we are told that a kilo has reduced. And so when you come here, you realize that the price of LPG has reduced. The supervisor has joined me to have a conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on Joy News. How much were you charging previously for LPG, a kilo?
The kilo was 13.28. It's now 13.11.
13.11.
Yes,
when did that reduction take effect?
Yesterday.
So let's make it very practical now. This small gas cylinder, previously how much were you charging for just the small one?
60 cedis.
It's now 50 cedis. It was 60 cedis previously.
It's now 50.
Okay, and what about this one?
This one was 180. It's now 170.
Let's speak to some of the customers who have come here to fill their gases or their gas cylinders actually. And thank you so much for joining me on the Joy News channel. You came to fill your gas.
Yes, I did.
We understand that the prices have reduced.
Yes, it has.
Did you notice it?
Yes, I did.
So how much did you buy this for?
I bought it for 100 cedi. That is the full. It used to be 120, but now it is 100 cedi.
You heard the driver there who is very excited about this reduction, and he's hoping that more would come soon so that he enjoys the benefits of fuel reduction and gas or LPG reduction. Reporting from Alajo Station here in Accra, my name is Gemma Pia for Joy News.
Meanwhile, fresh calls have emerged for the National Petroleum Authority to abolish its fuel price floor policy following some major oil marketing companies, including Gold and Star Oil, latest fuel price reduction. The price floor policy is a fuel market. In the fuel market is a regulatory policy introduced by the NPA that seeks to minimize the selling of price for fuels like petrol, diesel and LPG. But following the latest reduction in fuel prices, the Chief Executive Officer of Star Oil Ghana, Kwame Teku, in a Facebook post urged the NPA to get rid of the price floor policy to give the public more value. You're still watching JoyNews Prime. We'll be back after this quick turn. Please stay with us. Staying with us. Well, tonight, residents of Ablekuma Fan Milk in Accra have taken to the streets to protest the deplorable state of roads in their community. The demonstrators say years of neglect have made daily movement difficult and unsafe, especially during the raining season. My colleague Stephen Mensah was there for us and filed this report.
My sister Mienu. Omaka baby. Ebi say aha no no ye frɛ mo baako ye frɛ ne maame efu na baako nso Georgina. Omo ton beans wa ha. Mfuturo na no ye de unse tipes ni besen a. Di mfuturo ba ekwan no mu. Nti ɛhɔ na omo bɔ ye de omo kɔ hospital. Mo say omo ha no no aye cancer. Say omo lungs no emu esisi. Mo say mfuturo no na ma omo ha no nyina eye kuro. Ti na wo so mbehwe kwan no mo ye mayen kwan ni de ache free se nyankopon bo ni wiase e ba ye me hu se ye di kota abegu ada me ba ha 40 years nie me hu se aba abegu kwan no so da.
This is one of the major roads that will be linking Ofanko, Amasaman, Lomlava to the greater part of Accra. And what you may see behind me is not just a mere coincidence. This is one of the major concerns for residents living here in Ablekuma Farm Milk. Earlier today, they protested, raising concerns about the assurances government has made to them about the construction of this road.
We complained several times to the assembly. If we report this one, they didn't take action. Next step, we are going to bend a tie on them. It is illegal, but it should be like that. It should be like that because the government, if you don't bring yourself out, they won't see you.
For traders along this stretch, business has taken a painful hit. Sales have slowed, while constant dust and worsening health conditions deepen the daily struggle. Among them is Antiama, a kinky seller whose once busy pots now sell a different story, one of survival rather than profit.
The municipal chief executive for this area has been indicating that proposals have been made to government to ensure that finances are provided for the construction of this road.
Some of the roads, the drains have already been done on either side. So they're asphalting to some level, and the average I saw from the costing from the roads engineers about 54 million. That's the Agape Pentecost to Bawi.
But the residents are not all that convinced. They say that government has made these assurances for quite some time, and they will want this road fixed as soon as possible.
If they should not heed to this peaceful protest to do what we want, then the next step will be taken. I came to Ablekuma farm milk when I was a kid. Now I'm a grandpa.
For many of these residents living here at Ablekuma Farm Milk, they are concerned about their safety, concerned about their health, and the safety of their children. Reporting from Ablekuma Farm Milk, I am Stephen Mensah, reporting for JoyNews.
Let's shift our attention now to politics. MPP flag-bearer aspirant Brian Achampong has questioned the strength of former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's support within the New Patriotic Party as he continued his campaign tour through Ashaman, Ningo Prampram, Tema and Bokum Arena, as well as University of Professional Studies Accra. Speaking at the various stops, Dr. Achampong said the results from the 2024 elections point to unresolved concerns among party members. He maintained that those realities must be acknowledged rather than dismissed. The following report has more.
Touching on the party's electoral performance in the northern regions, Brian Achampong noted that although the MPP failed to win parliamentary seats in the Upper West and Upper East regions, the party's parliamentary candidates collectively secured more votes than its 2024 flag-bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a development he says raises serious questions about the party's current electoral strategy.
Yesterday, I saw Abujinapo on TV. Abujinapo is from Savannah. Savannah, a constituency called Damongo constituency. If you go to Damongo, Abujinapo beat our presidential candidate. By a difference of 4,000. Abujinapo is MPP parliamentary candidate. So it means that 4,000 people voted for Abujinapo in Damongo. And when they got to our presidential candidate Bawumia, they walked away.
The Abetifi MP also cast doubt on opinion polls projecting his rivals as frontrunners in the race, insisting they are designed to influence perceptions rather than reflect the true mood of party members across the country.
They will come up with a poll that you support a particular candidate. It is all propaganda poll. So I want to plead with you. We have a shared destiny. And our party is the vehicle for that destiny.
The former Agric minister pledged to restore discipline and unity within the party if elected flag-bearer, describing internal order as key to the MPP's prospects in future elections.
Well, let's head now to the Bono region, where the NDC chairman, Johnson Esedi Nketia, has been touring the area. My colleague Anna Sabit filed this report from Techiman South and North.
This is Techiman South. For decades, it was considered NDC territory, a reliable stronghold. But in 2016, a crack appeared. That crack has since become a chasm. The NDC has lost the parliamentary seat here 3 times in a row. Yet, in a baffling twist, the constituency consistently votes for the NDC in presidential elections. 2020 and 2024 parliamentary candidate who lost both elections, Christopher Basonte Bayere, says the party has been cheated on both occasions and appealed to Chairman Sedina Nketia to ensure the case is pursued with all urgency and the seat be handed back to its rightful owners, the NDC.
2024, if our opinion are not said, we are declaring elections now, our polling station now. Yet, we are in the peace of God, another one. Sir, if you are a party, no, echo Supreme Court. Near yes, national chairman. You can't say what you Supreme Court, and you are to me in the market. Now, you party, no, power, no, you will know what it is out. Yes, let the national chairman.
But the party's own general sees a deeper, more uncomfortable problem signaled by this presidential parliamentary split.
President Mahama, as I win it from, and so you may declare results, yes, he and lose. And also, media chair miracle court. And Comra, is it technicality be and fairly people be a boy so.
He, however, assured that the party is going to do a serious diagnosis and take corrective measures to reclaim this seat back in the year 2028. The narrative in Techiman North is strikingly different. Here, the NDC is in a firm control, and the chairman's tone shifted from introspection to aggression and commendation. He, however, has a strong message to members of the opposition New Patriotic Party who have contributed in the mismanagement of the country's resources. Anna Sabit, Joy News. Techiman.
Let's head now to Kumasi, where the Metro Chief Executive of Kumasi, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, says the city's waste management system is on the brink of collapse unless swift measures are taken. Speaking at a media briefing, he described the current state of sanitation in Kumasi as, quote, the main challenge, unquote, facing the Metropolitan Assembly. He revealed that the city generates about 2,000 tons of waste daily, with each ton costing about 83 cedis to handle. According to him, this is a financial burden the Assembly can barely sustain. More in this report.
The Kumasi Mayor, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, noted that the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly bears the load of other local assemblies in Greater Kumasi with any financial contribution in managing the waste. Kumasi is the only city in Ghana with an engineered landfill, a technical advantage that has become a financial strain. The city mayor says unless the KMA builds 2 additional waste facilities within the next 14 to 16 months, the existing landfill will be exhausted and the city will have nowhere to dispose of its rubbish.
Kumasi, we manage about 2,000 tons of waste on a daily basis. And out of the 2,000, each ton costs us 83 cedis. So with the financial responsibility to manage the waste that is made, it's enormous. Unfortunately, we carry the burden of about 7 assemblies. All of them bring their waste product to the final disposal site for us to manage. Unfortunately, they don't contribute to the finances of the management of the final disposal site. It is instructive to also note that out of the whole country, Kumasi is the only place where we have an engineered landfill site. So when it comes to the technical management of waste management, you cannot joke with any of the elements. So it gives us a lot of financial headache in doing. As we speak, within the next 14 to 16 months, if we are unable to construct 2 new cells, the place will be full and we will not have anywhere to keep our waste.
He noted that a fund of 6 million euros is required for the construction of those sites and that the Assembly is actively seeking funds to have a new site ready before the current one reaches capacity, thereby preventing a crisis. He noted that the Assembly is already in talks with potential donors and development partners to raise the required funds.
So there's a lot of work that we have to do to be able to get central government to appreciate the enormity of the task ahead when it comes to the waste management of the greater Kumasi enclave. But we're working and we are knocking doors, we are pushing. We believe that by the time that we exhaust the space, something would come from central government for us to be able to at least construct 1 new cell or 2 so that the situation will not get out of hand.
Francis Mensah's reports for Joy News.
Well, let's stay in Kumasi because the forecourt of Kumasi unit of the Multimedia Group Limited was thrown into praise and worship as staff of Love FM and Inshira FM joined in one accord at the company's annual Thanksgiving service. The session marked by heartfelt singing, prayers and a shared spirit of gratitude saw staff offer profound gratitude to God for a fruitful 2025. Here's a report by Rabna Kwe.
Over the years, the service has become a key fixture on the station's calendar, providing opportunity to acknowledge divine guidance and celebrate the collective efforts behind their achievements. Speaking at the event, General Manager for the unit, Jimmy Agla, encouraged employees to...
May today's service remind us of the strength each of us possess and inspire us to continue working together with purpose, care, and determination. As we give thanks to God today, may we experience Christ at work in our lives, in our decisions, and in our workplace, guiding and sustaining us every step of the way in 2026.
The service was led by Head Pastor and General Overseer of Love Encounter Faith Walk Ministry, Apostle Eric Osei, who emphasized the importance of...
The major asset of a company is not the equipment, it's not the building, but it's the people. Hallelujah. Especially in this Ghana here, setting up a business is one of the most difficult places to set up a business. So if you have survived for 30 years, I believe it's something that we should be thankful to God for. Hallelujah.
Staff who attended the service also shared their thoughts on the significance of the annual gathering, and many reflected on the importance of gratitude, teamwork, and faith in guiding both personal and professional growth.
It's an annual ritual, and it's a sign of giving our thanks to the Lord for how far He has brought us. We thank God for giving us that sign that this year is going to be good.
We want to use the opportunity once again to say thank you to all our cherished viewers, listeners, online partners, everybody that patronizes multimedia in a way, and also our cherished clients and customers that we are grateful.
We are not only physical, but we are spiritual beings too. And so when we are together like this and religiously or spiritually honor our Creator, it's a very good thing. I believe that multimedia has taken that particular leadership role to ensure that we fulfill that particular mandate.
We are starting the year with God just so that we can seek His guidance and protection as we enter 2026. You know, the previous year, 2025, was amazing. We came up with lots of stories, especially from the Kumasi unit, and won lots of awards. We want the same protection and the same guidance from God entering into 2026. Right.
Well, in fact, this year you should expect a lot more of the accountability stories, the social interest stories from the newsroom and everyone. We are going to put in our best as journalists to hold those at the helm of affairs accountable.
With renewed purpose and gratitude from the Multimedia Group annual Thanksgiving service, today we are grateful for the voices we amplify, the stories we tell, and the communities as well as businesses that we serve. Right here at the forecourt of the Love and Insura FM. My name is Erabna Akwe.
And so we maintain that we are the home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism.
Indeed, we are. And here in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Multimedia Group Limited, Kwesi Chum, has urged staff to recognize how faith and dedication have guided the company through challenges. Speaking at the annual Thanksgiving service here in Accra, Kwesi Chum called on management and employees across all outlets to appreciate the collective efforts that has sustained the Multimedia Group throughout the years. My colleague Nancy Kumsin has more in the phone report.
It was marked by scenes of joy, celebration and dancing at the annual Thanksgiving service of the Multimedia Group held on Friday at the Victory Bible Church. Management and staff of the Multimedia Group gathered in worship, united in gratitude to the Almighty God for His faithfulness. The Chief Executive Officer of the company, Kwesi Chum, reflected on over 3 decades of God's faithfulness and urged the team to continue appreciating the Lord for His goodness.
31 years of your faithfulness. Let's not forget His benefits, the benefits of family, the benefits of good health. These are the benefits we have to remember.
Chief Operating Officer Ken Ansa also addressed the congregation and encouraged staff to uphold diligence, faithfulness and efficiency in the discharge of their duties.
I just want to say that let us in 2026 focus on the parable of the talents. Let us focus to be called faithful servants.
Some staff members who spoke to JoyNews also shared their appreciation for the wonders and the faithfulness of the Almighty God.
We are celebrating and thanking God for His grace and mercy. As a company and also as an individual, we have seen a new year. And Multimedia, we are in our 31st year. And we are praising God for His grace and mercies.
This is a custom I have known since I joined this company 14 years ago. And what I know is that this is not just a custom also. Every time we come here, it's just a reaffirmation of what multimedia is. Christ at work.
The gathering came to a close with staff and management recommitting themselves to hard work in the year ahead. For JoyNews, Nancy Kumsin's report, back to you.